through March. You're listening to the While We Still Can podcast, where we talk about Missouri news, national news, the death of democracy, the rise of autocracy, and all the other incities. I'm Lisa.
I'm Tina.
And we're having a terrific Sunday.
It was very pretty outside. Spring is here. You know, it's weird going through all these. Also, I wanted to add grieving people when their true colors come out, but I digress. You know, the seasons always come and the sun always sets and rises, even when your whole life and like society's obliterating itself. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not
here
saying
at the pod.
I'm not saying my life is obliterating itself. I'm just
we really like to come out the gate on a positive note, don't we?
Bum ba bum ba bum bum.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The weather has been really great.
No, I had a good weekend. My dad's 60th birthday. I'm so
nice.
I love my dad. So it was good.
Well, you want to kick us off for Missouri news? What's going on in this Handmaid's Tale experiment we got going on here called Missouri?
Hey, well, I have a note. I love my note. Burleson eating Trump's ass. My bad. Hold on. Let me.
Well, all right then.
Sorry, these dudes were just ridiculous. Oh, Rep.
Allegedly.
Eric Burleson. No. He posted it himself.
You're like, no, I have receipts that they're ridiculous.
No, this is his official government page here. Signalgate has been grossly exaggerated.
Okay, all right.
He deserves this. He deserves what I'm saying. He said this. The overreaction is pure political theater, further eroding the already dwindling credibility of the gotcha media.
So when the media says something he doesn't agree with, then the media is corrupt. Is that how it works? So if they report that, yes, if the facts about these individuals that discuss things they weren't supposed to discuss on a platform they weren't just supposed to discuss it on.
But they talked about things that had not happened yet, and they said when it was going to happen. That means
indeed they did.
Every single person that was in that immediate area, like all of those pilots, like if that got into the wrong hands, it was immediate. Like it was like they were almost telling, like they wanted to get caught. I don't know. It's just.
So the media is reporting on what happened, and this guy's having a fit about it.
And this is old bro from Springfield. So
right.
I don't.
So if we rewind back, would he be having a conniption for the media telling us about what happened during the Hillary Clinton email scandal?
Oh my! But
if they brought forth the facts, who did it? Remember when? Well, I'm older than you, Tina, but when I was a kid, we learned who did the thing. What was the thing they did? When did it happen? Where did it happen? How did it happen? And maybe why, And then we come to our own opinion about the situation. But yes, the media can tell us what happened. They told us what happened when Hillary did her thing with her private server. So they just need to chill.
Well,
it's not exaggerated. That's what happened.
I just can't believe that these same people are like, I can believe it because there's no low, but also it's still, it's so dumb. Okay, on to some more dumbass shit in Missouri. Missouri Republicans want to underfund public school classrooms by $297 million to pay for a tax handout. So let's see. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read this. That's Rudy Keller, our boy Rudy.
Yeah, we always appreciate Rudy Keller's work.
I need to follow up with Rudy, see if he wants to do an interview.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So this article was in the Missouri Independent, and the date was March 25th, and it starts out, the House Budget Committee squeezed $139 million in general revenue out of the Missouri state budget for road, port, and other earmarked projects Monday night, but Republicans thwarted an effort by Democrats to shift $50 million into public schools. During a stop-and-go work session that stretched late into the night, the committee approved a $47.9 billion budget for state operations in the coming fiscal year. The committee reduced Governor Mike Kehoe's budget by $2.1 billion overall and about $700 million in general revenue. The markup session boasted the total for general revenue earmarks by $20 million, and the package is going to the full House and will have 96 earmarked items tracked by the Independent, costing $166.2 million total since Kehoe proposed his budget in January. So then he goes on to talk about some of the earmarks, like a state park in McDonald County, a climbing lane on Interstate 44. I'm sure the semi-traffic would appreciate that, and the people around the semi-traffic.
Wait, he cut that? He's not doing that now? He just...
No, those are the earmarks that they're going to track their progress and see how it goes. Let's see, what else?
Okay, sorry. I was thinking I'm going to find a clip of an old Mikey O. Ford commercial and play it every time we talk about him.
Find out why thousands of your friends and neighbors love a Mike Kehoe deal. Southwest of Missouri and Jefferson City are MikeKehoe.com this week only.
Sorry.
While Democrats succeeded in adding a handful of earmarks, they were shot down on almost every proposal to increase the shifting for state programs. So 2 major spending proposals, one Kehoe endorsed in January and another he didn't, were backed by Democrats on the committee, but could not win support from Republicans. Kehoe wants the state to spend an extra $107 million in funds on child care to revise how payments are calculated to one based on enrollment and change when checks arrive. Meanwhile, he does not want to spend $300 million in state general revenue to fully fund the public school foundation formula.
Well, they're trying to obliterate fucking...
It says, our providers have been through quite a lot this past year, to some extent from what they've had to deal with the state, said Representative Stephanie Hine, who's a
getting their check.
Right.
Yeah, their funding.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in past episodes.
Right.
There was significant delays that caused some serious hardship. So Representative Hine from Springfield said that she sought to restore part of the child care funding. This would help provide them stability within their budgeting process for the upcoming year. Yeah. Because of a rule.
Fuck them kids.
Because of a rule requiring cuts in general revenue from one line to spend it in another, Democrats did not attempt to shift the full $300 million into the school foundation formula. Instead, they tried to delete another of Kehoe's major initiatives, a $50 million tax credit program supporting private school tuition scholarships. When I look through some of the schools that receive taxpayer dollars now that the form of a tax credit program redo that. When I look through some of the schools that receive taxpayer dollars now through the form of tax credit program, there are schools that are getting dollars that wouldn't have educated some of us in this room, and I think it's really important that we are spending our money in the right places and fully funding foundation formula, said State Representative Betsy Fogel of Springfield, who's a ranking Democrat on the committee.
Thanks,
so what she's
Betsy.
saying is that these public schools these private schools do not accept any child. They're private. They can teach whoever they want to teach. And so that might not be your kid. Your kid may be SOL when it comes to being educated if we leave this all to private schools.
So I think that, and I'm not trying to stereotype or anything here, but one of the key differences is between Democrats and Republicans, and the thinking is oh, that's not going to happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
That won't be me.
Right.
Because, actually, you know what? We're kind of finding out that people will completely vote against their own interests. They think it's not going to happen to them. It won't affect them. I didn't think he was going to do it to me. Or I didn't think my future kid was going to be disabled, or that I would need an abortion at one point because my fetus died inside my body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no one ever anticipates being in these situations.
But
Sure.
I do. Is that my baseline anxiety? I don't know.
I think it might be.
It's fucking empathy, that toxic empathy.
Well, a lot of people just aren't even aware that a certain situation can happen. to even have empathy for someone.
No, you're giving them too much. You're giving them too much.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Sorry. Burst in the bubble.
Let's see. What else is in this article?
It's all trash. I don't want it.
It says they're going to debate next week.
What are we debating about?
Let's see. This, folks, is really our only constitutional duty. They're talking about the debate, I think. I'd have to go back here. I'm going to make sure I don't... I'm going to make sure I interpreted Rudy's work right here. Let's see. The full House will debate the budget next week. Democrats and Republicans will each have 3 hours to present their amendments and arguments. At the end of Monday's meeting, Deaton asked members whether 6 hours was too much time. Some Republicans said it was, and they're saying they don't think it's going to change their minds. Democrats objected to any change, saying it was the only time for House members to have a say on spending. Okay, it doesn't mean we have to burn it all. Excuse me. It doesn't mean we have to burn all of it, said Democratic State Rep Del Taylor of St. Louis.
If one of them wants it, then they all have to have it. If one person wants it.
This, folks, is really our only constitutional duty in providing the opportunity for members who were elected to be here and make comments on that, Mayhew said. I'm okay with our standing normal procedure, and I don't think it's unfair or overly burdensome for us, especially when we're talking about an upwards of $52 billion of taxpayer money.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, just follow the rules and, go through the motions to do it properly.
Don't do the job if you're not going to fucking do it. I get fired for that. Why are you arguing? Do I get to argue my hours?
Indeed, you do not.
What the fuck? You're fired. You whiny bitch.
Okay.
Ugh.
So that happened.
Sorry. Speaking of whiny bitches, Eric Schmidt.
Yeah, which is also a Missouri issue here.
Okay.
So Judge Boasberg, we're back to he's a federal judge. The tweet was that Eric Schmidt is demanding a major investigation into how Judge Boasberg, quote unquote, magically got 4 high-profile Trump cases within days of each other.
Maybe like Eileen Cannon.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, there's a process for things. We have institutions, and it's like when things go the way that some of these outspoken Republicans want them to, they're super cool with it. But if the process, isn't exactly what they think should be the case, then they get all bent out of shape and want to burn the whole institution down. So that's kind of bullshit.
You know what? If Boasberg is the dude that needs to... You know what? Fuck. I don't want to hear a goddamn word. Eileen Cannon. The Mar-a-Lago. Eileen Cannon. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear it. And also, like, he's breaking law. Like Boasberg is following the law. Judge Eileen Cannon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These guys and gals that are federal judges, they're listening to all this information. They are privy to information we don't have. They're interpreting the law. That's their job. And guess what? There are a lot of times it's not going to go the way the Republicans will like to see it go. That's the way it works.
But also, like, they're kidnapping people. Okay, let's move on. Eric Schmidt is just annoying as fuck. And I've also, like, you can't even give me, like, a generated email, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
The response from his office has been subpar. Is that what you're saying?
I haven't gotten a response from anybody.
I see.
They're real busy, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to burn down democracy. Okay. Speaking of being a turd, Elon is so there is a very important Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin for their state Supreme Court. So Elon, you want to explain this? I feel like you're better at explaining this.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like so this Supreme Court seat, it sounds like Elon is throwing a lot of money toward electing a judge that he would find acceptable. Am I right?
Yeah, I think that this would flip the Supreme Court more on the conservative side.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to get a law changed in Wisconsin that
Yeah.
dealerships explain the dealership
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, so I guess it's Brad Schimmel. They're trying to get elected. So okay, so I can sort of give some insight on this Tesla situation. So when a person buys a Tesla, for like if you buy it new, you don't go to a dealership and like you do now. You like just go online and you build it. So you pick out what car you want, you pick out the details, and there's no haggling about the price. It just is what it is. So then you can go to what's called a service center, right? If you need service on your car or like to pick your car up or stuff like that. But they don't have dealerships per se that like a third party owns. And so apparently Wisconsin has a law that says that an auto manufacturer cannot own a dealership. And so because of that, it's been difficult for people that live in Wisconsin to like, they can't buy a Tesla. They'd have to buy it and pick it up out of state. So that's been a problem. And that's been the way it's been for years in different areas. And so I think a couple things can be true at the same time. Like if we want to break up that model of letting the dealerships have control of all the situations, you know, if we want to be able to purchase a car directly from a manufacturer, then perhaps that law needs to change.
What's the reason behind that? Is there any logistical?
Yeah, let me look. That's a good question. There was a time I knew the answer to that. Let me review. An overview says that state laws historically prohibit automakers from directly selling vehicles to consumers, requiring sales to occur through franchise dealerships, aiming to protect those dealerships from potential unfair competition from manufacturers. So I think that the whole purpose is to protect the dealerships.
Is that
not so much the people?
Though?
Yeah. So that's what some people say is that like we should be able to just buy a car direct and take out the middleman, you know?
How does the Carfax?
Well, I think that's a third party situation where it's like if you're trying to buy one used.
It's like an online dealership.
I think so.
Loophole, baby.
Yeah.
Well, none of us are going to be able to afford cars soon, so.
But that said, that can be true while it's not okay to buy a Supreme Court judge, right?
No, my overarching message here about this would be we need to get rid of Citizens United or any like there are so many countries that are learning from all our mistakes, and I'm so proud of them. We're going to slip into an autocracy, but I think we might be causing a lot of the Western world that was going towards the right to maybe nope, that doesn't look
kind
fun.
of a cautionary tale here.
Yeah, like America can't help us now. We need to help America. Shit.
Yeah.
We're not all bad. Sorry, guys.
It feels like with so many issues, if that's exactly the case. Like you look at what entity has had a powerful lobby or powerful sway financially around an issue. And it feels like when you look into this, it's like the dealership lobby was probably instrumental in keeping that circumstance as the norm.
Totally. And yeah. Well, annoying.
Yeah. So 100% he shouldn't be able to buy an election no matter who's getting elected or where it is. That's not okay.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of talk. I always hear about George Soros, right?
Yeah.
We always hear about that. And now there's Elon Musk, who has given 8 times as much.
Oh, yeah.
And if Republicans, if you care and you have every branch of government to ram anything through, if you actually cared about George Soros giving money, why would you not make it illegal or legislate something against it? And it's because you really don't care because you're doing it times 8. It just pisses people off. So it's just so hypocritical. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. What else? Oh, Trump is again talking about his third term. But plot twist. Did you see? This is NBC. Is it? Okay. President Trump did not rule out the possibility the possibility of seeking a third term in the White House, which is prohibited by the Constitution under the 22nd Amendment. Oh, that's fucking cute that they think there's going to be a constitution by the end of this. Okay. Saying in an exclusive interview with NBC News that there were methods for doing so and clarifying that he was not joking. A lot of people want me to do it, Trump said in a Sunday morning phone call with NBC News. Oh, this was over the phone. Okay. Referring to his allies. But I mean, I basically tell them we have a long way to go. You know, it's very early in the administration. I'm focused on the current, Trump added in some of his most extensive comments to date about serving a third term.
That, and he's an old man. He may not survive to his third term.
No, you know, these people live forever. Just terrorizing. Okay. So
see, isn't it something? I mean, we started this off discussing an individual who is upset because of the way the media is covering release of confidential information. But yet we are discussing violating this 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, and they're just cool with that. You know, like, there's no logic for them anymore. That is all gone by the wayside.
Yeah, I you know, that's going to be a whole episode, I think. That could be like a deep dive. That's not really news, but, you know, more of a mind thing.
Well,
okay.
For those of us who really need some order and some, like, for things to make sense and not contradict themselves every other paragraph, it's absolutely infuriating.
But that's the point. You know? That's how fascism grinds you down.
It wears you out little by little.
Earlier, because you're like, it's taking so much mental load to even process all the shit. The shit that Bannon was talking about, probably his shit. Probably the same shit that was wiped on the halls in the Capitol. Okay, sorry. Also, I just want to, JD Vance, at least he's always there to laugh at, you know, there's always that. So, you know, Usha was going to go to Greenland, but nobody wanted her to go. And then all of a sudden JD was going with her because she was probably like, fuck you. I'm not doing this. They don't want me here. They're probably going to kill me. And
we'll never know that conversation, will we?
She looks like 10 years older than she did at inauguration. And it's like, we're what, 50 days in? 50? We're 50 days in.
Well, she chose this path. She'd have to choose to get out of it.
Yeah. But, you know, she does have kids with him. I'm
sure that's difficult.
Well, with all that eyeliner, like, I don't know. He's probably a freak. I don't know.
Nobody knows. Except the couch. The couch knows, but it'll never talk.
Hey, you so fucking funny. So fucking... You get it? So fucking... Okay, sorry. Okay, so we went to Greenland. They went for 3 hours. They wasted, like, how much money and gas? Like $1.3 million to fly to Greenland to piss them off for 3 hours. They could have funded Meals on Wheels, but instead they're like, I'm going to go to Greenland and threaten these motherfuckers for 3 hours. Literally.
Turn around, come home.
What did he say? He said, we have to acknowledge President Trump's desires.
Yeah. We cannot just ignore the president's desires. You
we
can.
Ignore.
He's a guy. He's not the American people. He's not. You can absolutely do that.
Here, I'm going to play the clip.
The president said today that we have to have Greenland. By being here today, are you also conveying that message that the U.S. is very serious in its desire to acquire Greenland?
Well, the president said we have to have Greenland, and I think that we do have to be more serious about the security of Greenland. We can't just ignore this place. We can't just ignore the president's desires, but most importantly, we can't ignore what I said earlier, which is the Russian and Chinese encroachment in Greenland. We have to do more. Now,
Okay.
What a creep. What a creep. Like, he's just going around threatening. I can't feel like I'm watching like a daycare. Okay. So we're going to war with Greenland. Hopefully we do not call it Blueland. Okay, please. What What else we got? Oh, okay. You know what? I'm talking about it. I don't give a shit.
She's going to go there, you guys. She's going there.
I've been waiting.
This is all for entertainment purposes and alleged,
Allegedly.
by the way.
Allegedly. But I've been waiting for this. Like,
I've been waiting.
This isn't surprising in one bit.
This is the least surprising thing we've discussed today.
Mike Johnson, his alleged Grindr profile has surfaced, and we know that whenever there's any Republican convention of any sort in a city, Grindr is like triples in size, okay? Because everybody's signing on to their profile, right? This is like a known fact. Like, what was
Yeah, I mean, like, just in general terms, with nothing to do with him or anybody specific.
But the national convention,
Yeah. Like, wasn't that the case in Chicago not too long ago?
It crashed twice.
Yeah, there's a lot of
so
activity.
Many people. Okay, so, which is fine. I want you, boo, you do you, okay?
Yeah, live your best life, guys.
But don't
We don't care.
legislate to get these people killed.
Yeah.
What? That's you. It's so dumb. Okay.
Yeah.
So, apparently he was talking about some guy's luscious hair and,
Allegedly. The person on that text chain was talking about the luscious hair.
Was it?
Let's just say that.
I thought he was talking about grabbing his luscious hair.
He was. I'm saying that we don't have the knowledge to know specifically who it was. There's this person that's saying it was Mike Johnson, but we don't know that for sure. But that, yeah, he was talking about his hair.
I'm glad someone finally either made it up or came. After Signalgate, everybody's like, I'm leaking. I want 5 minutes in the spotlight. Yeah, boo. And this was funny. This is one other little funny, and then I'm going to get off of here.
Okay.
So this is from the Tennessee Holler, which is a newspaper in Tennessee. And so Republican ex-Senator Brian Kelsey was topped for campaign finance crimes, pleaded guilty, and did a whole 2 weeks in prison before Trump pardoned. So next week he's celebrating. There is he sent out invitation for come celebrate with Brian Kelsey in his pardon from President Trump. Freedom is better with friends. Saturday, April 5th,
oh my God.
5 to 7 p.m. Oh my God. Okay, criming. Like, don't say you're the party of law and order. I'm going to gag. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to start throwing up. I'm going to be like, lying. Okay, spring break's over. I'm going to put the...
I'm just sitting here shaking my head. I don't know what to say.
Head. SM8, all caps.
All cap. Shouties.
All caps. See, I like guns. I'm conservative, babe.
All right, so that's what's going on at the moment. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Tomorrow is...
another executive order.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be into April this week.
That's on the 1st. Everything's a joke.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they'll tell us on April 1st it's all a fucking joke.
Wouldn't that be great? I'd love that for us. Yeah.
A girl can dream.
Okay. So we'll be back in your ears soon. We've got a couple cool interview conversations coming up that we're excited about.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for those. And just keep your chin up, everyone.
We're talking to ourselves.
Pretty much. We always do.
Chin up.
If you're listening to this, though, we love you. Thanks for tuning in.
So much.
We appreciate you.
Bye.
Okay, take care. We'll talk to you soon. This is the While We Still Can pod.
Bye.
Peace out.